AI is just incredible, right? It can write code, compose poetry, answer these super complex questions in like seconds. But, and this is the weird part, sometimes it's also confidently completely wrong. So how can something so smart just make things up?
I mean, I'm sure you've had this happen to you. You ask an AI a pretty simple question, and it gives you back this answer that sounds so perfect, so confident, and then you look at it and realize, wait a minute, that's totally bogus. It's a super weird feeling, and it happens all the time.
Okay, so take a look at this. An AI might spit out something like, the first person to walk on the sun was astronaut Neil Armstrong in 1969. And what's wild is how plausible it sounds. It gets Neil Armstrong right, it gets 1969 right, but it completely botches the sun part. This right here is what we call an AI hallucination. And no, it's not actually seeing things, it's just making stuff up. The big question is, why?
Well, the secret isn't that the AI is, thinking or trying to lie to you. The real answer is actually hiding in what these models are designed to do at their very core.
So, what is a language model, really? Well, you can think of it as this incredibly powerful prediction machine. It's been fed a gigantic library of text from the internet. We're talking books, articles, basically everything. But here's the kicker. Its main goal isn't to know things or to be a fact database. Its entire job is to get insanely good at one single thing, predicting the most likely next word in a sentence.
So when you type in a question, it's not going off and searching some giant encyclopedia for the answer. Nope. It's running this super simple loop over and over again. First, it reads what you wrote. Then, it does some crazy math to figure out the most probable next word. And finally, it sticks that word on the end and starts all over again for the next word. It's basically the world's most sophisticated autocomplete, like on your phone. But instead of just guessing the next word of your text, it's building whole paragraphs, one guess at a time.
And that right there, that really clever system, that's exactly where the problem starts. Because a machine that's built just to predict what sounds right isn't necessarily focused on what is right.
This is the key takeaway, really. The AI's goal is to be plausible, not truthful. Imagine a student who has memorized every single word of every book in the library. They can recite any passage perfectly, but they don't actually understand what any of it means. That's kind of what the AI is doing. It's just piecing together words and sentences that fit a pattern it's seen before, creating something that sounds totally correct, even when the facts are just plain wrong.
And this whole thing creates two major headaches. First off, as we said, it's a pattern matcher, not a fact checker. There's no little voice in its head that goes, whoa, hold on, people can't walk on the sun. It just sees a pattern that makes statistical sense. And second, think about where it learned all this stuff from. The internet. And the internet is, well, it's a mess. It's full of errors, weird opinions, and yeah, even totally made-up facts. So if the AI has read tons of sci-fi stories where characters walk on alien suns, it might just think, hey, walk on the sun is a pretty plausible phrase. It's literally just reflecting our own messy, imperfect world of information back at us.
So are we just stuck with this? Well, not exactly. Researchers are working on this problem all the time. The whole process is called alignment, and it's basically about trying to teach the AI to behave better, to be more helpful, and a whole lot more truthful.
They have a couple of main tricks up their sleeves for this. The first one is called supervised fine-tuning. Just think of it like giving the AI a cheat sheet. They feed it thousands and thousands of examples of really high-quality, truthful answers so it learns what a good response looks like. The second method is a bit of a mouthful. Reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. This one's more like getting a private tutor. Real humans actually sit down, read the AI's answers, and rate them. They give it a thumbs up for being helpful and correct, and a thumbs down for making things up. It's a way of teaching the AI through rewards what we humans actually want to see.
But here's the thing, even with all these clever tricks, these hallucinations are still a huge unsolved problem.
And why is that? It's because to get rid of hallucinations completely, you'd have to change the entire foundation of how these AIs work. You'd have to change their DNI. Because at the end of the day, they aren't knowers, they're guessers. They're built from the ground up to just guess the next word based on patterns and probability. They're incredibly sophisticated guessers, for sure, but they're not all-knowing oracles.
So, that leaves us with a really big question, especially as this technology gets woven into everything we do. How do we learn to work with and even trust a machine whose entire existence is based on making a really good guess?